It's number 7. Your agenda there.
Okay, I motion to certify.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? None.
Lawrence, you seconded that.
I did.
All right, do we want to finish signing and then do public comment, or do we want to start public comment now?
Is it just this?
Yes.
Okay, why don't we sign first?
Does everybody have a black pen? I've got an extra one here.
He's got mine.
Okay.
So, sorry.
Here.
Here in front of me.
I started using it.
This is blue. Is that
That's okay.
acceptable?
Blue or black is fine. While we have,
Thank you. You're welcome.
you, yes, or you, if you want something, that's fine too.
Keep them, whatever.
They're available on our website, will be for all the time. When we get those signed, from Hillsdale, I'll scan it, and email it to you, or does that
The one that
satisfy you?
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Or you can come in and inspect.
Okay, well, you just let us know ahead of time when it will be, and come in if you can make it.
Sure.
Or if that's possible. So on to public comment, is this a 3-minute sort of cap type thing?
That is up to the board.
3 minutes good for all of you?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're open for public comment. I'll let you know when you have about 15 seconds
Yeah,
left.
right.
In the past, on a recall ballot, the language on the ballot came from the petition, the circulating petition, once it was,
In the past.
once it gained enough
correct.
signatures. When did that change?
Oh, boy.
Could you also state your name for us?
Mark Nichols.
Okay.
Okay, what he's referring to is that way back, when an elected official was recalled, the person that started the recall process had their recall language wrote out. And then the elected official would have an opportunity to do a rebuttal, okay, on the balance. But boy, this is, let's see, it stopped when I became clerk. It was sometime between, before 2009, because it must have been back in the early, maybe 2000s, Mark, I can't.
Boy, I didn't think it was
recall
that
for
long
sure.
ago.
Huh?
I didn't think it was that long ago.
Yeah.
I thought it might have been still applicable in the late teens.
Yeah, I guess I would have to do some research on that. So anyway, the legislature brought it down now to where basically the recall language is put on a recall petition. And the election commission will approve or deny the language. But then when it comes down to the ballot, there can only be one Democrat, one Republican, and no party affiliation. There can be numerous names there. So that's what he was referring to, but I'm just not sure of the date. But I'm pretty sure that it had stopped. I know it did, because I don't ever remember, you know, when I started as clerk, you know, that it was like that. So it must have been in the teens. So.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I'll say thank you for what you do.
Thank you, that was a comment by Penny Swan.
Jim, I'm sorry.
Thank you,
For
Penny.
coming.
Thank you, Penny.
Up, sir.
We have a great team here, 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats, they're very thorough. They've had to call clerks in to retabulate ballots when they felt that there was a problem. And we got the problem resolved, and so they do a good job at trying to make sure everything is in balance and all the Ts are crossed, Is are dotted.
I love that, I think if I may, Marnie, I think it goes to a lot of the training that has been facilitated through your office of our
right.
township clerks, who, at least in my experience over the last 4 years, are very responsive. For instance, today when we contacted Janelle Stewart, she was there, she understood what the issue was, and we were able to get right to her, and there's not been a case, and if we haven't been able to resolve it over the phone, more often than not, in the cases when we've had a problem, and there haven't been that many, but the township clerk has said, well, look, I'll come right in, you know. So, I mean, I think that is really what makes this work normally pretty
Yeah.
smoothly, except for that one-off that we get every now and then.
Right.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
It's because you have got good clerks here in the townships.
I agree.
And Mary, you're the longest serving member on the board right now, right?
Yeah. I'm the oldest. In many ways.
So,
But just to give the board a heads up, so we will be having an August election. Just one, I believe, reading school.
Yeah, it'll be 2 precincts
Two
at this
precincts,
point,
yeah.
unless something else changes. They have 3 precincts, but one of them is in Branch County for
Whether
reading.
they'll open up their polling location, I don't know, or whether the Branch County people will come over.
is that
Yeah.
another school issue?
Yeah,
Yeah.
reading. And then, May 10th, we have 3 recall sections, there's 2 each, recall language, that the election commission will be reviewing.
May 10th?
Yes, I mean, you're not involved, but just to
Right.
give you a heads up, if the language is approved on any of them, and the number of signatures are collected and certified, it'll be on the November ballot.
And at least one of them will, is in my opinion, because one of them only requires 44 signatures.
Can you
to be
tell us in
initiated.
advance now what these are?
Sure.
Yeah, it's published.
Yeah, it came in front of your school board, and the Village of Waldron, and Somerset Township.
Trust, supervisor and clerk in Somerset,
Mhm.
2 board members of the Camden Frontier, and then the president and a trustee on Waldron Village Council. So,
Yeah. So, just a heads up,
yeah.
can't get a break in an odd year.
Is that information, and the reasons for that, is that
It's
public?
stated on, yeah, sure, it's stated on
On
the
what, your
recall.
website, the
We don't
clerk?
have it on the website, but
Where do we see that?
I can
You can go get it.
email that, or I can show it to you.
I'd like an email.
Yeah,
Good,
yeah,
sure.
I'll make a note of
Yeah,
that.
my friend here, I
Hey,
know.
would you email all of us, please?
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have not looked at the language, but Camden Frontier, they are wanting to retire the Redskins.
Right.
Oh, I
read
see.
that in the paper.
Make change the
Yeah.
name.
Yeah, and, that's one of them, like I said, I don't know, something about violations on Somerset. Like I said, I haven't read it
Right.
yet, and I'm not sure on
It lists
the Village of
MCOs,
Wal-
and there's
yeah.
a couple reasons on Village of Waldron. But
Okay,
if these get approved by the election commission, and then they have to collect signatures, there's a 10-day period where they can make an appeal. There's a lot of steps still, but if they get initiated and they actually turn in the proper number of signatures, then it would be a November election, not in August.
So the election commission, basically, it's the wording that they're more concerned with than
yes,
anything, that it's
whether it's
legal
clear and it's factual.
Yeah, it has to be clear, so there's no.
I'll give you an example of one that happened in Oakland County. The clerk was telling me, one of the commissioners sneezed on me That was
my
the actual
goodness.
language
Oh
that,
my
yeah,
goodness.
was submitted.
Oh, my goodness.
And they had to approve it, it was clear and, you know, it was factual.
And take a recalling?
That's incredible.
I don't know how far it got, but that was the language she was telling me,
Oh,
so
my
it's just,
goodness.
yeah.
Straightforward, I guess.
Yeah, whether that was the time of COVID, I don't know,
Oh,
you know.
So, I would like to point out, I should have added this during our overview section, but, so there's new legislation, I forget the Senate bill number, that just signed into law, I think on election day, the governor signed it, but it requires, if a military overseas voter,
Yeah,
if they send in a ballot and it's postmarked by election day, that we have to, this body here receives it, ultimately by the 6th day, which would be the following Monday. We did not have, because that's active right now, we can certify today because we did not have any military overseas ballots, so.
So we would have to come back in then?
you'd have to recess and then
And
come back in.
and do that,
Yeah.
I see, okay.
So that'll probably be a thing coming, I mean, we do have military voters,
Sure.
especially on the bigger elections.
Sure, yeah.
So just to put on your radar. Now on that military, does that include electronic?
There is a provision now where they can submit it electronically,
Through the security
but there's
portals, I
it's
guess?
a Department of Defense system that's already in place that verifies the signature and they are who they say they are. So it's not just a email. it's a-
Willy-nilly,
Oh,
yeah.
right.
There's a process.
Yeah,
So they do have that option, but it has to be through this Department of Defense system.
Sure.
I forget what that's called, but, yeah.
But those would get there on time, I would
Yeah.
assume, and they wouldn't have part of that in the mail.
yeah. So,
Okay,
Is there any more public comment?
are we done?
All right, well, I motion to adjourn.
second,
All right.
10:45.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.